All right, good morning, everybody. We left off at the Mishnah on the top of Samach Zayin Amud Aleph. And the way we go, Hamaychir es a chotzer, one who goes ahead and he has a contract and he's selling a courtyard. So what's included in the sale of courtyard? So Mecher Batim, Baris, Shichin, and Marais, he's included houses and pits and watering holes and caves and all this stuff, the storage of water. But not movable objects, those are not included in the sale of the chatzir. If he says, I'm selling you the chatzir and everything that's inside it, even the metalton are included. And benkach or benkach, however, either way, even if he says, right, he has not sold a bathhouse, or which is if it was located, even if it was located within the chatzir, or a Beis Sabad, or an olive press, as those things are chashuv, and those would never be included in a courtyard sale. Or actually, we'll see in the next couple of Mishnayos what's included when you sell those items. This is not Shabbaseika. And Rabbi Yezer Aimer, no, Hamaychas Achatzer Leimacher Ela Avira Shalchatzer. You did not get the batim, you did not get the burros or the shichin amaros of those. However, you only get the airspace of the courtyard. No structure is included in that purchase.
So
just the open land.
You don't have to say Ruma that's only by a house.
Correct. Right.
The house you have to say,
right.
But well, there it's includes everything that's not metalton.
Correct.
I'm sure.
All right. I'm sorry. This field also. Do we cover field yet? Right. We did not. I'm trying to think if we did. If there is a field. But yeah, but right. So that also would I don't know, a sada, right, for I guess plowing, right. So but over here, chatzir, there are houses. Chatzir's known that they have houses open into it, a shared courtyard. So those things are not there's machlokes whether those are included or not. So Tana Rabbanan, let's see the brisa.
They were all together.
So those are included. The houses and stuff; those are included on the courtyard according to the Tanakh. The Rabbanan, Hamaycher is Samach Zayin, one more page.
And the courtyard was a part of the.
That was the contract. It was for the courtyard. We'll soon see actually the wording. There's going to be three different
house, and not the houses.
No, the houses are included. Those are included in the courtyard. Those are included in the court. He's buying the courtyard, and the courtyard includes those houses.
He's buying everything.
The houses. The exterior houses and also the interior ones, the ones that only open into the courtyard, ubeis chusos, and also the areas, I guess the sand pits, the sand fields, which those are used to make glass, and also the storehouses that are basically opened into the entrances. The entrances, the stores is opened to the courtyard. Those are nimkarasima. Those are included in the sale. However, but stores that say they're on the edge, but they're open outwards towards the public, and nimkarasima, those are not included in the sale of the chatzir. If it's open to each and every, both sides, both the outside and the inside. Hare, I think it's Hare. It's the way the Bach changes it. So he says, those it just says Nikarasima. Those are sold with it. In other words, if it's open to both, then that is included since it's also open into the court, into the chatzir. It's open there on Samach Zayin Amud Aleph, second wide line. Rabbi Yezer Aimer Hamaychas a chatzir. Once again, mostly the chatzir loimacher ela milusa shechatzir. He only said it uses a different word. He only has sold the airspace of the chatzir and nothing else included. So Amar Mar, as we said, we may just mention psuchas lekan. If it's open to both the outside and the courtyards, and nikarosima, it is included in the sale. Reb Chia taught a brisa of the same halacha that says it is not included. So like kasha ha derov tashmish legay, ha derov tashmish zayu levar. One is if most of the usage is for the inside from the courtyard people, so therefore it's included in the sale. And if most of the of the traffic and the business is from the outside, then it is not included in the sale of the chatzir. Rabbi Yezer Aimer Hamaychas a chatzir leimacher el avira shechatzer. You've only sold the airspace of the chatzir. So Omar Rava says Rava. So Idamar La Dirsa. Now it's Midah Lashanas, as I mentioned earlier. So let's say he doesn't say the word I'm buying your chatzir, right? The contract is from something which is a dirasa. The kuliyama like pligi the bati mashma. That is a mashma like use the word compound. I don't know. That's just the English word, right? So the compound, it sounds like it includes all the structures. So if that like pligi, there's no machlokes between Rabbi Eliezer whether that's included. The houses Rabbi Eliezer would agree to that. So keep pligi. When do they argue? The Amar lay darsa. When they use the word darsa, that's not as much compound. That might just be I don't know, a state. Maybe a state is masha, maybe airways, right? Ma'asavar tabirsa or.
That's the chutzner.
Well, we're actually going to get a chatzar, so we get a third lashon in a second. That's why I don't want to use the word chatzar. Yeah. So he said Damarle Darsa. If the lashon of Darsa Marsavar Tavirsa, one Rabbi Hazel, that is the airspace of Mashma. Umar Savar Bati Mashma says no. The word Darsa includes also structures. And if you could Darsa a different version, Amar Rava E Damarle Darsa. If it was Darsa, like let's say a state, the Kulam the Bati Mashma, that for sure that includes the structures. Rabbi Hazel would agree. Keep pliki. What do the argue? Damarle Chatzir. When he says the word Chatzir. Mar Saber Chatzir Avira Mashma. The Rabbi would hold that Chatzir is Mashma only the airspace and no structures. Mar Saber Chatzir Mishkan. Just the Chatzir Mishkan. Chatzir Mishkan. Right? It was measured 50 by 100, and even though, despite the fact that there was a Mishkan in the middle of it, nevertheless that was included in the measurements. Right? It was within it, so therefore it's included all the structures inside. So to over here, it should include any structure inside.
Yeah, the Mishnah says that if he's selling the chutzner, he's selling.
Well, it's just so the Mishnah says there was a machlokes in the Mishnah. There was a machlokes in the Mishnah. So you look at the last line of the Mishnah of the Ezra Amir. So we're saying, what is this machlokes? So the machlokes is it that in the lashon of Mishnah is hamarich is a chatzir? So is it dafka that, or according to the first Mishnah, if he says hamarich darsa, right? One who says a darsa, that could also be the machlokes. But according to the second opinion, it was only the case of chatzir, like our Mishnah stated. Guy says, "Hey, sell me this chusis, this sand area which was used for glass. Right? They used to go make glass there. Matzula, and a matzula, I believe, was an area that they made. I guess I don't know, mining area. I think for silver."
Fishing pond.
But it was off of. I mean, if I just find the matzula karkos and kesef zahav. Right. So they would some silver and and gold or whatever they would mine over there, or they would collect it over there. So that area, he wants to buy those two areas. So if he goes ahead and makes a chazaka, right, an ownership move, he puts up a fence or whatever it is, or some sort of chazaka on the fusis, on the sand area for the glass. He has not acquired, we'll call it the mining area or whatever it is, the silver area. Or Hixi Matsula, or he makes the chazak on the Matsula on the silver area, like kind of fusis, he has not acquired the glass area. So Gemara says, "Aini, is this true? You can't make you make a chazak on one, you don't acquire both." Farmer Shmuel, we learned from Shmuel on another case. Machlas or Sadais. If I go ahead and Mark wants to go ahead and sell to me his portfolio, he has 10 fields. Best of Medinos in 10 different lands. So we have a sale contract. There's the contract. I have to go ahead and make a kinyan. I make a chazaka on one of them. I have acquired all 10 lands. So why over here, right? There's 2 lands. I make a chazak on one, and the other one is nearby. I don't acquire. But in the case of 10 different Medinos, I can do a chazak on one, and it acquires all of them. So our answer is Pasam who the Sadna de Ora Chadhu, the Kula Chad Tashmishasan. Over there, yes, all land is connected, right? So the earth is all connected. So really, technically, the land is connected, and it has the same usage. It's used for crops, used for growing. That was the sada. So therefore, I make a kinyan one, I acquire all the each one is different. One is for silver and gold and finding those, and the other one is for making glass. So therefore, it's 2 different usages. That's why it doesn't work. Or if you could read some different version, Omar Rav Nachman, one goes ahead and makes a chazaka on the sand, the glass making area, kana. Matsula, I've acquired both areas. I've also acquired the other ones. Gemara says in this version, says Pshita, it's obvious. We know this. You buy two, you make a chazaka on one, you own two. The Hamar Shmuel, right? You buy 10, you make a chazaka on one, you acquire them all. So what's the chiddush here? So Mazim Moju said, "Hasam hu desanu de'ora achadu." Over there in that case, right? All land is really in theory connected. Achadu. This means but over here, each one has different usage. Maybe I have a havamina that making chazak on one would not work because one is used for creating glass, for zachuchis, and the other one is for gold and silver. So maybe it's different. Kamash malon, no difference. You make a chazak on one, you acquire both.
That's a better,
Right. And then, right. So,
all these cases we have, look who's here. All these cases we have, like for the beginning of the thing, the chutzner is always a small place, it's that they have to look or not.
right.
All of a sudden, they got a mind and.
Well, soon, right. Well, soon to be selling cities, yeah, but the courtyards and. Hamaycher also has a base abad, and it says, okay, sure. Hamaycher base abad. Now let's go. Now, what's the next case? The next case is you're buying. So you bought a house, right? Now we've talked about buying a flutzer. Now you buy an olive press. So what is included in olive press? So Machar Beis Sabad, we're gonna not explain the next 6 terms because the Gemara is going to explain the next 6 terms. So Machar Es Hayom. So what is included with the Beis Sabad with an olive press? So Machar Es you have included. You've sold the yom. Vesa mamal, vesa basulos, right? Those 3 parts of the olive press you have acquired. But if you have not gone ahead and sold, not included in that is the avirim, gilgal, and kaira. I'm selling you olive press, it and everything that's inside it. Everything is included. And Rabbi Yasser Omer, that last thing that we said that you said Tanakama of this, the second set of 3 that is not included, the kaira, right? That kaira is included in the base sabat, right? So in other words, according to Rabbi Yezer, you would acquire 4 of the objects and not the 2. So what's going on here? Yo, can you stop talking in code? So what is the 4 things? So the Gemara comes straight out. So yum. So what is this C, right? Yum. So that is the talafacha, right? That is like a vat that's used to
collect
to hold the olives and memo.
So hold the olives or the oil.
The olive.
The olives, yeah.
Themselves?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a free.
Right. Well, since you right, so
It's a holding area.
so basically, I mean, I'll explain now. So I mean, I got most of this from the notes on the olive presses. So basically, the way what they had was, they had a large area that would actually crush the olives first, right? You just don't just crush it once the oil out. You have to crush it down before you extract the oil. So they would basically crush them first, and even a second time, with mortals and pestles and to crush it down, and then they would put in the press. Now the way the press was, they would have like 2 side structures with a cross beam. Right, and then they would put with like a cork, right, the winding down that is held up on with that top hole, and then they would turn the thing on top, and as they would turn it, they would push down and create pressure on this lower kora, which we're going to assume to see the beam on the bottom, which would push down, and that would push down instead of on the olives itself. They put boards on so it'd be nice, flat, and even, and that would push the wood that is basically on top of the olives, and that would basically create, the oil that would come from there. So now, when you go ahead and you sell it, so the yum is the tavka and the mammal. So what is the mammal? So I have a theory. So Amar Rabbi Abba Bar Memel, right? I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that he knew what that word meant because that was his father's name, right? So that is my theory. I don't know, right? So his memo was the Amar Avra memo. That is a mefarchasta, right? That is basically the mortar that they used to go ahead and crush the olives first. So that was stored. That's included in the press. And also basulas, whether basulas or Rav Yechon, kuzos shel eresh hamamid lam is a kaira. Those are the 2 basically wooden structures on the side that they use, right, to hold the post, right? Which they go across. that would keep the the cork thing that goes down in place. So those things are included in the sale. And there's a kaira, and he says avirim, right? So what are the avirim? Those are the kapshe. Those are the planks of wood that are placed on top of the olives. And Gilgal, what's the Gilgal? That's chumrasa, right? That's the screw that goes down that they turn. In other words, that that so it goes lower and lower. And kaira is the kaira, and that is the beam on the bottom that's used to ultimately crush the olives. So those last three are not included. So so he's bought the boards. Now these are not the boards that cover the olives, right? These are more boards or blocks that go around the press to in order to help support it. And also the vats, and the mortars that are used to crush, and the bottom, the millstone that's used to for crushing the olives. But not the upper millstone. But he says that and everything that's inside it, everything is included. He has not sold the boards that go right on top of the olives, or the sacks or the leather bags, pouches that are used to carry the olives. Those are not included in the sale, even if he says, no, the beam that is used to crush it is included in Machar Sakira. Say one's Beisabad, he has included the kaira. Why is that? Because it's called Beisabad because of the beam itself. That's the main part of it. So when you're selling Beisabad, of course that should be included per Rabbi Eliezer. Fine. Next Mishnah. And now let's talk. You want to buy a bathhouse, so let's see what's going on. A bathhouse is what's included. So one has not included the sarim, those like the floorboards, right? That people walk on, right? That's above the hot water. That's svalim, and or the basins, and also he has not sold these, including also, let's say, the towels or the curtains, or the linens of the bathhouse. I'm selling you the merchatz and everything that's inside it. All of them are included. But either way, he has not sold him the reservoirs of water. Also these, thank you. Also the storehouses of the wood, because those things which are owned by the owner, those are not exclusively used just for the merchatz. Those are used also for his other needs, right? For his fields, for his house, for his fires. So therefore, his reservoir of water or his storage unit of wood are not included in the sale of the merchatz. Fine. One who goes ahead and he sells the merchatz for under contract for the merchatz for the bathhouse, he has sold him. Including that is the base on a sarim, right? The house, the storage unit, storage area of the boards. In other words, we're not talking about the boards itself, but the area that's used to that area is used to hold it. Machar is based on the sarim. Common, and also the area which holds the turbans, the head coverings, and the basins, and also the towels itself. But not the boards or the basins or the turbans or the towels. Those are not included. In other words, the storage areas of those are included, but not those items. You can go ahead and clear them out before you sell. But if he says, I'm selling the miracles, everything's inside it, everything is included in the sale. But either way, even if he says, he has not included the reservoirs that have, that's provide the water for it, the hot water. Whether it's during the summer or the winter. The summer, maybe it's not used at all. Maybe you think you throw it in. Nevertheless, even though it's not currently being used now, nevertheless, those reservoirs are not included. Below base, like kinos eitzim, and also not the area of where they the wood closet, because once again that wood is not used only for the merchat, it's also used for the owner's other fire needs.
This is for the firewood.
For the right, so the firewood, so the what's it called, the area, the storage unit, right? The what do we call it? What's the word? The shed, the wood shed, right? Right, the wood shed is not included, even though the linen shed and those areas, the board shed, those areas are included, but not the wood shed and not the reservoirs of water. Those are not included because those have other usages outside of the merchats that are used by the seller. But if he says to him, the merchats and any accessories to it, everything is included in such a sale. And let's be the case. A person said to his friend, I'm selling to you the Beis Abad, this olive press, and everything that's included. And then all right. So they had next to the olive press, they also had this area where they would basically go ahead and crush and spread out the sesame, the shumshi, and they would do it to make sesame oil, right? You could also make sesame oil. So they had an area, basically a staging area, an area that was done for the sesame. Now, was that included in the olive press or not? So it was not known. So also, Tanina, we learned, right? Well, we learned the base of merchats and all accessories, and that is included. And he says, okay, so the base about it, all the accessories, this should be included. But it's not included. So Elam Ravashi Chazina, we see if he says the Beis Abad and all its accessories and these are the boundaries and it's within the boundary, then he acquired it. However, v'lo, but if not, then loikani, then he has not included that in the sale. Since it's independent enough, it's kashuv enough, it's not considered to be an accessory, and therefore the line of a chotash mishab would have to include other items, but not necessarily this item because it was not within the area that that it was stated.
It could be based about because they are going to press the sesame seed at some point to extract these.
Right, but maybe it was like a separate part, not necessarily recognized. It's like independent enough, chashuv enough that it can't just be called a Beis Abad or even the accessory of a Beis Abad. Right, so according to this shita, so the accessories would have to include something else, but not necessarily the this shumshemai. Fine. Next mission. Let's see where we're selling next. Micro Zaire, one who goes ahead and sells a city. Hey, I got a city for you. I do see that from time to time, like cities listed. Like on the internet, so you can buy a whole town. It's a deserted town, and it comes with a post office. And, yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Should we buy that for the Daf Yomi one?
You go there.
The town.
Hamayches Zaire, Makar Batim, Baris, Shikin, Ma'arais, Machzais, Shevbais, Ubeis Abadin, Ubeis Ashlachim. One who goes ahead and says, okay, I'm selling you the city. He has included the houses and all the pits and the ditches with the waters and the bathhouses and the dovecotes and even the olive presses and the Beis Hashlachin, right? Those are, as we normally, right? We'll soon see there's actually going to be a machlokas actually to the meaning of this. But normally Beis Hashlachin is like irrigated fields, fields that are not necessarily cannot be irrigated just by the rain. That you have to go ahead and create a waterway for its irrigation. But not movable objects in there. I'm selling the city, everything that's inside it. Behema and the avadim, even if you have animals and avadim in there, harei kulan mechurim, all of them are included in the sale. So let's just go out because we're soon dissect this Mishnah. So we included all these structures are included, but not movable objects. And if you say the city and everything inside it, that it includes all move objects, including avadim and behemoths.
Center.
Well, soon to the center was. I thought it was like the. That's what I thought. I thought it was like the center town square, right? That you've seen other mishnayos, in Tinus and other cases, right, where they have the center square. Right, correct. But it's actually not it, right? So soon as what the machlokes is, but the center is not included. Mashma that the Tanakama says. Excuse me. He says that is sold, or Shmuel says it's sold. Mashma the Tanakama is not sold. Right, so we have to see what the center is and why it's not sold and why. So Omar le Rav Acha berei the Rav Avia le Rashi. So Shma Mina Avdo Kamatalton Dami. Well, let's learn from our Mishnah, right? It must be from our Mishnah that Avadim are like movable objects. Now we know in other cases where we learn Avadim are just like karka, but over here, Mashma that it's movable objects. Why? So if an Evid is considered to be right, we're talking about Evid Kanadi,
then they should be sold.
There's Evid Agav Masa should be sold with the city, right? You're selling the land if this is part of the land of the city, right? So this should be included. Vela my Abdo, what are you going to say? Kimatalton Dami says Metalton. So my Afilu. So if it's a Metalton, so why do you have the word Afilu in the Mishnah? It says the guy says he b'chol masha b'soicha. Right, so it says afilu hayuba behema v'avadim. Why is there afilu there? Right, if it's metalton, then it should be included. Right, of course. Right, bicycles, dogs, animals, avadim. They're movable objects. If it's metalton, it's movable. So who cares? So Ella ma'isachalame. Where do you say? No. The reason why it says is afilu is shani be metalton denied and metalton delayed. Right. So, and therefore, no, you can say, oh no, maybe the reason why there's a philo is now there's move object, a bicycle, right? So a bicycle is metalson, but it doesn't move on its own. So maybe the philo is not only movable objects, but even movable objects can move on their own, like animals or avadim. Those are included. So just like you say, the word philo is used because that avadim move around on their own. You can say an avid is karka and karka dummy and shani being karka denied. And the reason why they're not acquired with the city is because they're moving karka. So it's only the stationary karka that's included in the ear, but not the moving karka. So therefore,
Explain that. It's the moving part.
An avid is like a karka. The avid is like karka, and therefore, but he's not included like other karka in the sale. So therefore, you can't say that this mission is approved that avadim are like metaltalid because they're not included in the sale because all karka should be included. No. It's all stationary karkas included in the sale, but not movable karka. Once you say he then we'll throw in also the movable karka such as the avad. Fine. Now let's get into the sentence. Says no, Tanakama, you're wrong. When you sell the city, you include the center. So my center, so somebody who's mechavanisa, right? So he's a mechavanisa. What is that? As the Rashbam explains, right? If I would just find the Rashbam somewhere. So basically, it was an Eved. I think he's the Russian Eved, right? Here he is. Eved Hamuna. I'm just basically a guy who goes ahead and he's an Eved of the town, and he's like not the assessor. He's the one who he measures out and of all the lots. Surveyor, yeah, town surveyor is a good line, right? So he's like a surveyor of all the different lands. So such an Eved. This is the one we're talking about. He's included in the sale. This Eved is included in the sale.
City employee.
He's like a city employee, right? He's really a city employee, right? So he says, that's one. So that's one case. And Shimon ben Achuma Zaymer Bagi. It's basically a field, right? That's like right outside. That's like a field that's adjacent to the land, right? It's a field that's adjacent to the land. So Man Omar Bar Mechlamas. So the one says that is referring to what'd you call it? The town surveyor? Is that what you said, Eddie?
The registrar of some sort.
All right, the register or surveyor. Kol Shagain Bagi. So if this the one who says that the human is included, certainly the other fields are included. Man the Omar Bagi, but according to the opinion, it says the center is sold about Bar Mechasi Loim is done. But that is not this person is not sold along with it.
Is he like an somehow that he?
I'm sorry?
Is he like an Evid somehow? Did they?
Yeah. Rashi says, Eved Hamamuna Lahagi
To the city. So-
right. Who Eved, sorry, right, the Sarir, right? Yes, Sarir below so, right? And he's basically controlled by the city, right? Sells himself out. So Tanan, Beis Habadim, Beis Hashlochen. So now, okay, so this machlokes, is this person, or is this considered to be this like field which is like adjacent to the city? Right? That was the machlokes. Now, so let's get into this. So Tanan, Beis Habadim. How much time I have to explain? Okay, right. So he says Beis Habadim, Beis Hashlochen, Sabura. So my Shlochim. So what is Shlochim? Right? Let's go back. Let's go back to what we were talking before. Right. So before I loosely translated as an irrigated field, right?
Right.
So it's my shlochen. So what is the shlochen? That's bagi. It's a field, right? This is we're just saying it's the same thing. It's a chsiv. The shalech mayim al pnei chutzais. It says over there the word shaleach mayim, to send water, over there along the field. So it means that's the word. Base of shlochen is from this word shaleach mayim al pnei chutzais. So now our Mishnah means that included in that is the fields. So honors now. This works well according to the opinion, which says that what is the center that the Tanakama says is not sold, and Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says is sold. It's the surveyor. So Amar Tanakama Bagi Mizdavni, right? He says according to the Tanakama that therefore fields are sold with it, and Bar Mechmasa, however, the surveyor lo Mizdavin. The Yasser of Shimon Gamliel Lamemar Afilu Bar Mechmasa Nami Mizdavin, and then comes Shimon Gamliel says no, also the town surveyor, the Evid surveyor is also included. Laman Demer Bagi Tanakama, but according to Laman Demer Bagi, but according to the opinion holds that what does the center means? It means a Bagi, it's a field. So Tanakama Nami Nami. But Tanakama says fields, shluchen, are included. So how, I don't understand. So the Tanakama says shluchen are included, and all of a sudden, right, the Rosh Hashanah says, oh, and also bagi, fields, shluchen are also included. So isn't it the same thing? Right? So what is he coming to argue with? They're both fields. Saki Kamar. So misvaras my shluchen bagi. No, who says the word shluchen is referring to fields in the Mishnah? Lo. My shluchen, what does shluchen mean? That means gunusayim, ginunaisam, right? It's referring to gardens, shamar, as the pasuk says over there. So it says over there, right, that your lands, right, will be pardesim of pomegranates and stuff. So these are considered to be gardens, right, that were like separated, right? They were gardens, and therefore not necessarily they're for growing fruits and stuff and orchards, and therefore not necessarily included. About bagi
outside the city is that?
So they couldn't even be with the city, but they were chashiv enough that they were like independent, and therefore maybe they wouldn't be included in the sale. So therefore those are included. Right, about bagi,
like
right,
county forest,
right. So therefore those are included about bagi, but the surrounding fields maybe are not sold. Right, maybe those wouldn't be sold. They're not, as part of the town as these orchards. So the also, even the surrounding fields are also included. So that was one version. Now, Ikadami is another version. My shlachim. What does the word shlachim mean? We're going to go the other way. So the original havmin is naisa. There's these orchards, these gardens. So So I stand according to what does the center mean? It means a bagi, and then the shlachim that are included in the sale, but the bagi is not. And those are gardens. So our Tanakama is Dafin. So the Tanakama says that these orchards are included. However, bagi, but fields are not included. These adjacent fields are included. But the one says that we're talking about it means the centers of town surveyors. I understand. Right? The Tanakama says the gardens are included in the sale. But and then Rav Shimon Gamliel responds by saying the surveyors are included. So who says we're talking about surveyors? Why is he referred to the gardens? You argue in that case or not? So Gemara says no. Mitzvah is my shlachim unusai. Well, you think the shlachim mean the gardens? Low my shlachim bagi. No, according to this, you have to say that what are shlachim? According to his opinion, he would say they're referring to fields, the ksiv v'shalech mayim apnei chutzos. Right? Then, because over there, Shlach is referring to fields, right? As the pasuk references over there, you send mayim apnei chutzos, aval bar mechanaisa, but the guy itself loy mizdava, right? But the in other words, all that we're told says what's included in the shvach, and that is the fields, but not a surveyor. And even also the surveyor is included. Fine. Pashma, come and listen. Rabbi Yehuda Imer center ein macher, right? So and on Kolumas macher, the center is not sold, but then Klumos, right? That is the sefer, right? So the surveyor is not, right? Or let's see, the center, right? Well, so remember, is the center the surveyor or is it a field? So that is Eina Machar, according to this brisa, is not sold, but the sefer is. So my la v'dan Klumos gavra. By the fact that on Klumos everyone agrees that the sefer is a person, so center not gavra. So the center should also be a person. So that one says Midari. Who says you have to say the same? So maybe Hakadisa. Each one's its own thing. He's mentioned the same brisa, but one is referring to a field. Is that included? And the other one means the cipher is included. So you don't have to go ahead and confuse the two. So Gemara says, can you say this? But the sefer over there says when Rabbi Yehuda continues, he says Avaloi Shairel. But not it's the leftovers, the remaining, the remnants. And we'll soon see what that is. Also, and not its suburbs are included. So what does it mean? And also now that the forests that are really set aside for the wood usage of the town, but not also the containments for wild animals or birds or fish. They go ahead and trap and eat. So none of these are included in the sale of an ear. Now, my shirel. What does it mean shirel? So it means Beasley. It means Beasley. My Beasley. What is Beasley? Rabbi Abba. So Piske Bagi means the fields that are outside, just outside the town. So Psike Bagi Udu Amistafin. Ha Bagi Natsam. Understand? So the ones that so what was over here? No, it's these ones that are outside. Those are not sold. But Piske Bagi Udu Amistafin. But the Bagi themselves, right, are sold. So we see over here that you can't say that so if you say that the center is not sold, I understand. So the fields far away, right, which we say are the shireha, right? Those are not. So why would he say over here that center in it, right? So the Gemara says April. So it says no, switch around. Rabbi Yehuda Oimer center machler, right? No, the center, the fields that are close, those are sold. It's the farther ones that are not. And Ankulmos ain't a macher, and the Ankulmos, the sefer is not sold. So in other words, like this. So if we would say that the center meant fields, then you would have an issue in Rabbi Yehuda, because then Rabbi Yehuda, in one case, he already says that the fields, that the close fields aren't sold. So why would he have told me that the far fields aren't sold? Why do you have to tell me that, right? So it must be switch around the sheet. As Rabbi Yehuda says, the closer fields, right? As he understands, center could be bagi, the closer fields, they're adjacent. Those are included, but the shirel, but the farther fields, the in the fields in the outskirts, those are not sold. So why can you say he holds like a Rishon Gamliel? So remember, Rishon Gamliel says, right, that the center was sold, and now we're saying Rabbi Yehuda says the center was sold. So can you say, Rabbi Yehuda, Karabarin he holds like Rabbi Yehuda, Tani Seifa, it says on the Seifa, Avaloi Shirel, Avaloi Benosel. So he says, but not the Shirel, the remnants of those we say the outlying fields, and not the suburbs. Bilo Rishon Gamliel, Ha'amer Machar Seir, Machar Benosel. Right, Rav Shimon Gamliel says when he goes out and sells a city, he has sold the suburbs. Right, the time of the price. He has indeed sold them. So how could you say that he holds like him that the center is sold if you see that that they differ, they're on the same shita when it comes to the bnei sell? So the Gemara answers, Rabbi Yehuda summer like kavasi bechada upalag bechada. No, he holds like him in one case, in the case of the center, what the center means, the bagi, so that all the same thing. But when it comes to the suburbs, so that Rishon Gamliel says he has sold Bnei Seha, right? And according to Yehuda, he has not. He holds like the Rabbanan there. Not also the enclosures of the wild animals or the birds or the fish. So if there were like these suburbs around there, let's say they had like a certain part of the owned by the town out in the sea, or they had a town a little bit further out, annexed out in the land, or enclosures to catch animals, or to hold animals. These are all included in the sale of the city. The Gemara says like kasha, right? The nagiach kaveh legoy. One is the case where the enclosures are only open towards the town. If it's open to the town, then it's included. However, the other case is enclosed facing outward, and therefore potentially can be used outward, and therefore it's not necessarily sold with the city itself. And not the forests, right, that are set aside for it. So and these areas are really, for the town, they're open to the town, but it's not sold with. So Gemara says, it says maybe they're set aside, they're set aside from it, right? I'm saying right? From it, therefore it's not close and open to the town and should be included in the sale. It's farther away and not open to the town, and since it's not open to the town, therefore it would not be included in the sale. But let's do the next Mishnah, right? Just it goes to the bottom. So now your Mishnah, Hamaycher is the one who goes ahead and sells a field, right? Mark, you referenced it earlier, selling a field. I totally forgot this because it was at the end. So he sold the stones that are used for it, and also the poles. We'll soon see that in the vineyards there, the tzarka, they don't get removed; they remain with the vines. And any grains that are attached to the ground at the time of the sale. And also the amount of reeds, right, that covers an area of less than base roiva, right, less than a quarter, than 1/4, quarter calf. So these areas are included not choshev on their own. So therefore, since it's not choshev on their own, they are included in the sale of a sada. And also like the security station, right? The shomer's room that is not made with mortar. In other words, it's not something that's permanent, right? It seems pretty temporary, so that is included since it's not temporary. It's not choshev on its own. That's a charav she'ena murkav, and also a carob tree that's sort of new that has not been grafted yet. So the sigma, and also a new sycamore tree. None of those things are chashuv, and therefore, since they're chashuv, they're basically included in a sale. However, but not large stones that were not used for the field, or reeds and stuff that were not needed and used for the vines to grow in the vineyard, plus and not grains that were already harvested and separate from the ground. But when he tells them those are not included. If it's
the cutting,
if it's already
not
cut,
the ones that are holding up the vines. These are like extra cut.
right? Correct. They're not the extra, right? And we'll have to see in the Gemara, what it is. So however, if he says but if he says that everything that's in it, then those are included. But even if he says anything that's included, he has not the thicket of reeds are not included. He based the roiva, which is a large enough, more than a quarter kav, because that's considered to be chashuv on its own. Was a shomer she and not also the shomer, his hut, his security hut, that was made, let's say, with cement, something which is more permanent. That's a charav murkav, and not a grafted carob tree, and not also a sycamore tree that's basically been cut back and now ready to grow. None of those would be included. Even he says because those are considered to be chashuv on their own. Fine, we'll stop here. So tomorrow davening is at 7:45. So let's start 7:15. 7:15 share tomorrow. Hashem.
Picking me up 7.
Yeah.